the legislature schedule and for being here with us to really celebrate a momentous event.
My pleasure.
I would also like to recognize a number of special guests this morning, including the New Mexico Public Regulation Chairman, Sandy Jones. Representative Larry Yonga. Representative Sarah Maestas Barnes. And Representative Monica Youngblood. Also here today, we have the New Mexico Partnership President and CEO, Tim Nitti. Tom Conroy, the President of Array Tech, Inc., which makes the tracking devices that will be used with the solar panels on this project. We also have Deborah Inman, Vice President of Albuquerque Economic Development. Barbara Romero, the District Director for U.S. Congressman Steve Pierce. District Director for U.S. Congressman Michelle Lujan Grisham, Mariana Padilla. Michelle Kavanaugh, Staff Assistant for U.S. Senator Tom Udall. Bill Woldman from Tom Udall's office as well. And Dr. Katie Richardson, who serves as State Science and Development Director for U.S. Senator Martin Heinrich. As you know, after a long competitive process, Facebook chose New Mexico, and specifically the village of Los Lunas, for the location of a new data center. With it comes the promise of good jobs and a boost to the local and state economies at an especially critical time for our community. Already under construction, the new data facility will be one of the most advanced of its kind in the world. And to meet a very specific and important Facebook requirement, it will be powered by 100% renewable energy. Much of that power will be generated by the sun through 3 large-scale facilities built specifically for this project. Today we are excited to announce that PNM has awarded the construction contract for the solar centers to a local company, Affordable Solar. I guess you all figured that out since that's why you're here, right? PNM is a homegrown New Mexico company that has served our community for a century, and we know the importance of supporting local businesses and good, high-paying jobs. Closing the deal with Facebook took a special collaboration led by the state of New Mexico, and in particular, our governor. We are fortunate to have with us today New Mexico Economic Development Secretary-designate Matt Geisel to talk more about the project and what it means to our state.
Good morning, everyone. I guess I'm trying to catch up with my kids, and I'm using my tablet instead of paper. So anyways, first of all, good morning. I'd like to thank everyone for coming today. I'd like to acknowledge a handful of people who are in the audience. The folks from Albuquerque Economic Development who spearheaded the recruitment of Facebook. To the folks from the New Mexico Partnership who facilitated that initial meeting with Facebook in August of 2015 where this all started to unfold. Folks from PNM, obviously the electric utility, the solar aspect was extremely important in us solidifying this opportunity. The village of Los Lunas, Mayor Griego and Ralph Mims and the whole community, they had the vision and the tenacity to make things happen at a local level. We can't do economic development unless we have the support of local leaders, and we appreciate what the village did for us. Representatives Maestas Barnes, Larrañaga, and Youngblood, thank you very much for being staunch advocates and defenders of economic development. Thank you very much. It would not be for the leadership of those representatives and our governor, we would not be where we are today in advancing our local economy, advancing the economy of New Mexico, if it wasn't for their advocacy for economic development. A few months ago, we announced that Facebook, a huge international company, would be bringing its newest data center to New Mexico. And as was just referenced, this was a competitive process with Utah. The economic development toolbox that we have in New Mexico today enables us to compete with 35 states across the country for economic development, recruitment, and retention of job-creating expansions. Again, we beat Utah, and I think that's a very important piece of this story of not just Facebook, but our broader economic development diversification that we are driving over the last 5 to 6 years in our state. Facebook represents an investment of $1.5 billion. Now, to put that into context, the folks from Albuquerque Economic Development did an analysis. Over the last 8 years in the metro area of building permits in Bernalillo County, City of Albuquerque, and City of Rio Rancho, the value of that investment over the last 8 years is $1.4 billion. So one single project is representing the investment that we saw in the last 8 years in our metro area. So today is a day where the rubber hits the road. In a lot of ways, it's also the tip of the iceberg in that the Facebook economic machine is starting to manifest itself. It's starting to surface. Today's first phase, the first phase of Facebook project is creating jobs for New Mexicans and New Mexican homegrown companies. And this day would not have been possible without our economic development incentives and the bold reforms that have been enacted since Governor Martinez took office. Governor, thank you. Since 2011, we've made significant improvements to our business climate, cutting taxes 37 times, including lowering the business tax rate by 22%. We've made New Mexico more attractive to manufacturers by implementing a single sales factor, which ended the practice of punishing businesses that exported their goods from New Mexico. And if you heard me tell the story of Keter Plastics in the last couple weeks, this is exactly that story. We reformed the tax code to eliminate double and triple taxation. But perhaps most importantly, we expanded and strengthened our crucial business incentives of LEDA and JTIP. Incentives that have been crucial in bringing companies like Facebook and Keter Plastics and many others to New Mexico while supporting the job-creating expansion of many homegrown New Mexican companies. And it's on days like today that all the hard work pays off. We've come a long way, and we are now more competitive than ever before. And did I say we are in a position to compete with 35 other states across this country? We have a long road ahead, but thankfully we have a leader, my boss, and Governor Martinez, who continue to lead our state forward to fight our incentives strong and ensure a bright future for our state. Governor, I'd like to ask you to come forward to the podium and give us all the good news that we're here to celebrate today.
Well, thank you, Secretary Geisel, for all that you do to make sure that we are being noticed as a state and that all of our portfolio that we have put together in the last 6 years is recognized. I also want to thank the 3 legislators behind me. They have fought really hard to keep LEDA and JTIP as part of our recruitment to bring companies here. I cannot say that about every single legislator. There are some that are voting to reduce it, to cut it back, to take it away. And if you do that, we are no longer competitive with the 35 other states. Texas, Colorado, Arizona. I mean, New Mexico was started to get noticed when we started making changes to how we do business, letting people know we are open for business and we're not going to be punitive. Sometimes suggestions are made by the legislature to hold back on some of those. Let's not have a corporate reduction in taxes for a couple of years. Predictability is number one to businesses that we bring to New Mexico. We have to be predictable so that they can say, I know what they have offered will stay here throughout the lifetime of my business in New Mexico. And I want to thank those 3 legislators behind me. They're amazing. Ms. Barnes, Larrañaga, and Youngblood, staunch supporters of LEDA and JTIP, and will continue to do so throughout the rest of our session. But just a few months ago, I had the pleasure of announcing that Facebook, their newest high-tech data center, was going to be built right here in New Mexico, again, using that very same portfolio of all the changes that we've made to let everybody know that New Mexico is open for business. Today we have more good news to share on this important project. With a $45 million investment from Facebook, this first phase of the project will be bringing up to 300 new jobs over the next several years. Facebook has committed to powering the data center with 100% renewable energy, with energy supplied by 3 new solar farms. The $37 million contract to build all 3 of the solar farms will be awarded to Affordable Solar. Congratulations. And it's also exciting because it's a New Mexico company. So we benefit all the way around. And it's based right here in Albuquerque on top of that. And another New Mexico company, Array Technology, has been chosen as the manufacturer for the solar tracking mechanism. Congratulations to you. Now, the first site in Los Lunas is anticipated to be completed next January. Not only will the new solar farms meet all of Facebook's energy needs, all of them, this is a perfect example of the results of our economic development reforms. We must ensure that we will have all of the tools that we need to bring companies like Facebook to New Mexico. Everything that's possible to let them know New Mexico's open for business. We cannot play with those. We cannot shut them down. We cannot shorten the lifetime of them. Nothing. That's what got us Facebook here, predictability. I've also said it many times. We have to keep making our state more competitive. To beat out Utah and Texas at times, Arizona at others, it is a good place to be, because in New Mexico before, they weren't even really sure what kind of plans we had. And we didn't have anything, really, in the toolbox to be competitive. Now we do. And of course, we're going to have to continue to grow our private sector and diversify our economy. You've heard me say it many, many times. We're going to embrace our military bases and our labs, and we're going to embrace our oil and gas industry. But we also know that we have a huge portfolio of renewable energy, and all the above applies in this great state. And so we need to make sure that we are continuously inviting them, no matter what kind of company they are, to come and stay in New Mexico and to grow. We've had businesses here that started out in New Mexico but wanted to double their size, but needed a little bit of assistance from LIDA. We helped them. We helped train their employees for a short period of time, and they've doubled the size and they've doubled the exports that they've been sending out around the world. So not just companies being brought here, but companies that are here and helping them grow. It's more important than ever before that we keep fighting for the tools and the reforms that are helping us bring more jobs and investment to New Mexico. We have to make sure the legislature knows that the New Mexico business community wants these tools in our toolbox so that we can continue to bring these kinds of jobs. Our reforms are bringing home wins for our families, our communities, and our businesses. When we invest in companies like Facebook, who would have thought? But here it is in New Mexico, in Belen. When we invest in them, they in turn invest in New Mexico, as you've just seen. Together we can make New Mexico a better place to live and to do business. I want to once again thank Facebook and everyone involved with the project for their commitment to local businesses and job creation. And I wish all the companies that are involved all the success in the world. God bless you, and thank you for choosing New Mexico.
Thank you, Governor Martinez. We are honored that you could join us today as we acknowledge the importance of this project in solar energy to local industry and economic development. So let me apologize. I failed to recognize and introduce to you Kathleen Griego, President of the Los Lunas Chamber of Commerce, and a really important player in this process. So, our next speaker is committed to the idea that renewable energy will help power PNM's next century of service, and she has a lot to say about what we do. With more than 20 years of experience in the energy industry, PNM Resources Chairman, President, and CEO, Pat Vincent Calan, understands the importance of supporting local businesses and investing in our communities. Pat keeps us focused on our number one priority, serving our customers and working to deliver safe, reliable, affordable, and environmentally responsible energy. It is my distinct pleasure to introduce Pat Vincent Calan.
Thank you, Ron. Ron and I both have colds, and we're in denial about it. Thank you all for coming today. We really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedules to celebrate this wonderful event with us. And first, I'd like to thank Governor Martinez. Governor, your leadership in making us business friendly and keeping us business friendly is incredible. If you need to borrow any red pens for vetoes, I got stuck in my office. And actually, my folks would like me to get rid of them, so you can have them. The governor's initiatives to improve our tax structure and provide us significant tools such as JTIP and LEDA are working, and we have to keep continuing that. Good companies are choosing to locate here. Companies are expanding that are already here. Our pipeline is full of great leads and opportunities. There are lots of reasons to be optimistic. You know, this agreement for Facebook in Los Lunas is a wonderful example of what can be done if we all work together. It's really, really feels good to win one, and if we keep it up, we'll win some more. You know, as Ron said, this is a unique first-of-its-kind project for PNM. Creating a plan to serve a data center with 100% renewable energy while ensuring 24/7 backup as required by Facebook required innovation and forward thinking from our engineers, from our regulatory folks, from our rate designers, and our finance folks. And I'm especially pleased that we are working again with Affordable Solar for the construction of the data center's first 3 solar generation facilities. Affordable is truly a local success story that has now grown beyond our borders in New Mexico. Ryan Canterwall and Kevin Basilik and their whole team have built something very, very special, and we're glad you're here with us in New Mexico. As the governor said, Array Technology is also part of this collaboration and will be providing the tracking systems that maximize the output of the solar panels. Array is the global leader in solar tracking technologies, and they're another big New Mexico success story that doesn't get much publicity. It was founded right here in Albuquerque in 1990 by CEO Ron Corio. They've installed the majority of the solar tracking systems in the US and has a big share around the world. And we know you're off doing sexy stuff in Australia, but we're glad you're going to be doing this in New Mexico. And as Ron said, Array Technologies president is with us here today, and we're very excited to be working with you. You know, this project clearly demonstrates some of the best possible outcomes of an economic development project, supporting a local renewable energy business, creating local construction jobs, and helping to grow our economy here in New Mexico. As Ron said, at PNM, we're strongly committed to renewable energy, especially solar generation. You look outside today, and you can see why. We have invested nearly $270 million for 15 solar generation facilities across New Mexico. It'll be 18 with these at Facebook. And when possible, we work with local businesses like Affordable and Array Technologies to build our facilities, right, that look like the one behind there. We also support more than 8,000 customers who have private solar. We now have enough solar, wind, and geothermal investments at PNM to power approximately 150,000 homes. I'm hopeful this Facebook project is going to serve as a model for other similar projects and is going to show businesses how we in New Mexico can come together to make things happen. One of the folks that helped Facebook and other technology companies work with states and regulated markets called us at PNM that scrappy little utility in New Mexico that came together quite quickly. And as Matt said, we helped beat Utah. And I got to tell you, felt pretty darn good. Many things had to fall together to close this deal. Different groups and individuals had to deliver. Everybody did, and at PNM we're really proud to be a part of that. I'm also privileged to be the chair of the New Mexico Partnership, the state's economic development efforts. So I see the hard work and collaboration that takes place every day. And as Ron said, Tim Nitty is here, and I'd like to recognize him for all of the work that they're doing. I know we thanked Gary Tonjes and his team, Deb Ivins here today, but we can't thank them enough for all of the work they did on Facebook. I think it's especially generous. Facebook ended up in Las Lunas, but AED was out there helping every day and making the project happen. So Deb, thank you again. And Chairman Jones, I would especially like to thank the Public Regulation Commission on this. You guys worked so quickly to take actions on this filing. We beat the Utah Commission too. And one of the things that helped us to close this deal was the fact that the Public Regulation Commission acted so quickly and favorably on our application. We couldn't have done this without you. So again, thank you. One of the most focused and excited partners in this was the village of Las Lunas. Councilor Size, thank you for being here today and for everything the mayor and council did to close this deal. You know, we have 1,500 employees here in New Mexico, and they work hard to serve everybody with safe, reliable, affordable, and environmentally responsible power. But our commitment to this community goes much deeper. We support the nonprofit communities every day through our employees volunteering their time and their donations. Every year, PNM spends almost $200 million with local suppliers. And we regularly work with all the state and local economic development organizations. I really look forward to many more announcements like this. You heard Ron mention the word century a couple times, and he wasn't talking about me, okay? But we have been serving at PNM New Mexico for 100 years. Our birthday is going to be this May. This project is a great way to kick off our 100th year celebration, and we look forward to many more. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat. Adoption of solar energy is growing exponentially in New Mexico, and local businesses are benefiting from this expansion. One local business that recognized the tremendous possibilities of solar energy was Affordable Solar. Since its founding in 1998, Affordable has helped lead the way in educating consumers, promoting the industry, and providing quality solar energy systems. Next, I would like to invite one of the innovators who is helping lead the way when it comes to solar energy production. After co-founding CST Solar here in Albuquerque, Kevin Basilek joined Affordable Solar, where he now serves as company president and oversees the development of commercial projects. After growing up on a horse ranch in Edgewood, Kevin returned to New Mexico. Excuse me. First, he earned a degree. Yeah. But get this, he earned a degree in biomolecular chemistry. I didn't know that. From UC Santa Barbara, and then returned to New Mexico, where he has been a part of the solar industry since 2007. Kevin is dedicated to helping New Mexicans realize the potential of solar energy in their homes and businesses, and has worked on numerous projects with companies such as Walmart, Amazon, the Roadrunner Food Bank, Kroger, PNM, and more. It is my pleasure now to introduce Affordable Solar President Kevin Basilek.
Thank you. Helps to have a home crowd, I guess. This is a tough act to follow. You've apparently done this before. We owe a special thanks to Governor Martinez, Pat Vincent-Colon, and the entire PNM staff, Facebook, the Village of Las Lunas, Albuquerque Economic Development, Commissioner Sandy Jones, and the rest of the PRC commissioners and staff, and everybody involved in putting these projects together, including the Village of Las Lunas. So thank you, everybody, and please give them all a warm round of applause. They certainly deserve it. We're honored to have been selected by PNM to design and construct the solar facilities that are going to power Facebook's new data center in Los Lunas. It's a continuation of the working relationship we've established with PNM over the years, and we're thrilled and honored to be providing solar energy facilities for you once again. So thank you very much for your business. PNM's been a key partner of ours, and they've been a real pleasure to collaborate with. As Ron mentioned, Affordable Solar was founded in 1998 here in Albuquerque with quite humble beginnings. Our first office was a small Airstream trailer in the South Valley, and that year we sold 200 solar modules. About 10 years later, in 2008, we had about 12 employees, and we sold an equally modest and unimpressive 5,000 solar modules. Today, almost 20 years since our start, we're proud that we employ over 100 people. And for perspective, on these 3 projects alone, we're going to be installing over 115,000 solar modules across hundreds of acres. The solar industry is flourishing in New Mexico. Our state enjoys incredible solar resources that are matched only by a handful of states and for that matter, a few places on the entire planet. So we're truly blessed there. The industry in New Mexico employs over 2,000 people, and our ranks are growing both across the state and across the country. The DOE recently released a report highlighting that there's now 370,000 people employed in the solar industry across this country. And for perspective, that's more than all of the people employed in the coal, natural gas, and oil-based electricity generation sectors combined. It's an incredible stat. A critical component of our company's growth over the years can be attributed to both state policy and years of industry support from PNM leadership and their staff, who each day help more New Mexicans install solar energy systems on their homes and their businesses. PNM's harnessing our state's most abundant, renewable natural resource, clean, high-quality, low-cost solar energy, and they're using that as a fuel for economic growth. Other organizations will surely follow Facebook and PNM's example, and thanks to everybody involved in putting these incredible projects together, our state's now at the forefront of an amazing opportunity to attract new businesses that are looking to reduce operating expenses and incorporate renewable energy into their facilities. It's not to be ignored that we can create solar energy in New Mexico at a lower price point than any other state in the country. We applaud Governor Martinez's administration, PNM, the PRC, and all the entities involved in putting these projects together. It required a lot of forward thinking, it required creative leadership, and we're thrilled to be a part of it. This project and our company's growth over the years are a direct testament to the effectiveness of the Local Economic Development Act, the JTIP program. Thank you, everybody, for your support. This is a sign that these programs work, and we're appreciative of that. PNM is in a very select group of utilities across the country that have structured these types of arrangements, and they deserve a tremendous amount of credit here. We thank Pat Vincent-Colon and PNM's entire staff for your leadership in putting this together. They've demonstrated forward thinking and real commitment to improving our community. So thank you very much. These projects will allow our company to open our doors to a new group of solar industry employees. We're thrilled to be here to announce that as a result of this partnership, we're hiring, and we're hiring a lot. We're going to be hiring over 40 new full-time employees over the coming months as we gear up for these projects. And each one of these solar facilities will have hundreds of workers on site during the course of construction. We're also partnering with Array Technologies, as we've mentioned before, an Albuquerque-based manufacturer of the solar tracking systems that allow the modules to follow the sun each day. As people have mentioned, they're a tremendous local success story. They stay out of the spotlight intentionally, Tom, perhaps, but it's a tremendous success, and we're honored to partner with you again and put more of your systems right here in New Mexico. So thank you for your support. I'd like to emphasize that the impact this innovative partnership has extends beyond just job creation. These projects are going to enable us to provide people in our community with an opportunity not just to secure a job, but to grow a new career. And we think there's a really meaningful distinction between those two concepts. Our company is going to celebrate 20 years in business as these projects are coming to completion. And as we do, we'll pause to reflect on how far we've come, but we'll soon turn our attention towards the next chapter for our business and for our employees and we'll continue to dedicate ourselves to the state of New Mexico to help it harness its incredible solar resource, grow the economy, help the environment, and provide new career paths for those in our community. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kevin. I'd also like to thank the entire staff of Affordable Solar that's here today for your commitment, your dedication, and for hosting all of us here today. When it was announced that Facebook was looking to build their newest data center, communities across the country submitted proposals to attract the internet giant and the potential boon to economic development it promised to bring with it. The village of Los Lunas fought hard for the data center and ultimately won. Thanks to the commitment and tireless work of residents, local businesses, the state of New Mexico, and elected officials. Through the leadership of Mayor Charles Griego and village councilmen like Gerard Size, who is with us today, the village passed bond measures and other incentives to offer Facebook a deal it couldn't refuse. Now Los Lunas is poised to experience new job opportunities and economic growth in the years to come. Serving in his 5th term as Los Lunas Village Councilman, Mr. Sides is a lifelong resident of Los Lunas who worked for the post office and owned a small business there for 28 years. So he is deeply invested in seeing his community grow and become prosperous. Please help me welcome Village of Los Lunas District 3 Councilman Gerard Sides.
Good morning and thank you. This was quite the undertaking for a small community like Los Lunas. And had it not been for the partnerships that we formed, the support that we received at the federal level, the state level, local level, Albuquerque Economic Development did an awful lot of work for us. Our consultants and our staff, this project would have not been possible. So I wish to thank them all for all their support. The village's position from the very beginning was hire local and buy local when possible. So the announcement of this contract fits right within the wishes of the community, of our community, of the Village of Los Lunas. So we'd like to congratulate Affordable Solar on the contract, and we look forward to many more announcements of this sort. Governor Martinez, I'd like to thank you for all of your past help to the community. With a business such as Facebook, the impacts to a small community like Los Lunas are going to be great. And I would like to ask and thank you for your future support to our community and addressing some of the impacts that we'll be facing. So thank all of you, and good luck to Affordable Solar. We're very happy for you.
Thank you, Councilman. We'd also like to thank the entire Los Lunas community for their hard work to make this wonderful opportunity become a reality. In closing, I would like once again to thank all our speakers for being here today. All of us are working to help our state and local economies prosper. PNM is proud to serve New Mexico and to stand beside you as together we strive to improve the quality of life for all New Mexicans. Thank you for being here today. We're going to hang out and just enjoy this really positive vibe, and we're more than happy to answer any questions that you have.
Oh, yeah, I just had a couple of quick clarification questions.